Hi everyone, we've got a whopper of a story for you guys today. It is about a crocodile, and some of you guys in my class wanted to study dangerous animals. Well, this is about the most dangerous animal and the most dangerous story that I could find. Alright, so here it is, The Enormous Crocodile by Roald Dahl. Let's see what happens. The Enormous Crocodile by Roald Dahl, illustrated by Quentin Blake. In the biggest, brownest, muddiest river in Africa, two crocodiles lay with their heads just above water. One of the crocodiles was enormous. The other was not so big. "Do you know what I would like for my lunch today?" the enormous crocodile asked. "No," the not-so-big one said. "What?" The enormous crocodile grinned, showing hundreds of white, sharp teeth. "For my lunch today," he said, "I would like a nice, juicy little child." "I've never eaten children," the not-so-big one said. "Only fish." "Ho, ho, ho," cried the enormous crocodile. "I'll bet if you saw a fat, juicy little child paddling along in the water over there at this very moment, you'd gulp him up in one gulp." "No, I wouldn't," the not-so-big one said. "Children are too tough and chewy. They are tough and chewy and nasty and bitter." "Tough and chewy," cried the enormous crocodile. "Nasty and bitter? What awful tommy-rot you talk. They are juicy and yummy." "They taste so bitter," the not-so-big one said. "You have to cover them with sugar before you can eat them." "Children are bigger than fish," said the enormous crocodile. "You get bigger helpings." "You are greedy," the not-so-big one said. "You're the greediest croc in the whole river." "I'm the bravest croc in the whole river," said the enormous crocodile. "I'm the one who dares to leave the water and go out through the jungle and to the town to look for little children to eat." "You've only done that once," snorted the not-so-big one. "And what happened then? They all saw you coming and ran away." "Huh. That's funny. But today when I go, they won't see me at all," said the enormous crocodile. "Of course they'll see you," said the not-so-big one. "You're so enormous and ugly. They'll see you from miles and miles away." I don't know. Looks like the enormous crocodile has some tricks up his sleeve today. Let's see what he does. The enormous crocodile grinned again, and his terrible sharp teeth sparkled like knives in the sun. "Nobody will see me," he said, "because this time I've thought up secret plans and clever tricks." "Clever tricks?" cried the not-so-big one. "You've never done anything clever in your life." "You're the silliest croc in the whole river." "I'm the cleverest croc in the whole river," the enormous crocodile answered. "And for my lunch today, I shall feast upon a fat, juicy little child, while you lie here in the river, feeling hungry. Goodbye." The enormous crocodile swam to the side of the river and crawled out of the water. Oh. This crocodile is looking. Look at this guy. Look at the expression on his face. What do you think he's feeling right now? I don't know. I don't think he agrees with the crocodile. Actually, I think in this book we're going to find out that a lot of people don't agree with the crocodile, and that the crocodile is acting like a big bad bully. A gigantic creature was standing in the slimy, oozy mud on the riverbank. It was Humpy Rumpy, the hippopotamus. "Hello, hello," said Humpy Rumpy. "What on earth are you doing?" A gigantic creature was standing in the slimy, oozy mud on the riverbank. It was Humpy Rumpy, the hippopotamus. "Hello, hello," said Humpy Rumpy. "Where on earth are you going or off to this time of day?" I have secret plans and clever tricks, said the crocodile. Oh dear, said Humpy Rumpy. I'll bet you're going to do something horrid. The enormous crocodile grinned at Humpy Rumpy and said, I'm going to fill my hungry, empty tummy with something yummy, 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 yummy. What's so yummy? Asked Humpy Rumpy. Try to guess, said the crocodile. It's something that walks on 2 legs. You don't mean, said Humpy Rumpy. You don't really mean you're going to eat a little child? Of course I am, said the crocodile. Oh, you horrid, greedy, grumptious brute, said Humpy Rumpy. I hope you get caught and cooked and turned into crocodile soup. The enormous crocodile laughed out loud at Humpy Rumpy. Then he waddled off into the jungle. Inside the jungle, he met Trunky, the elephant. Trunky was nibbling leaves from the top of a tall tree, and he didn't notice the crocodile at first. So the crocodile bit him on the leg. Oh, said Trunky in his big, deep voice. Who did that? Oh, it's you, is it, you beastly crocodile? Why don't you go back to the big, brown, muddy river where you belong? I have secret plans and clever tricks, said the crocodile. You mean you've nasty plans and nasty tricks, said Trunky. You've never done anything nice, a nice thing in your life. The enormous crocodile grinned up at Trunky and said, I'm off to find a yummy child for lunch. Keep listening and you'll hear the bones go crunch. Whoa, this guy is not very nice. Oh my goodness, look at him biting his leg there. Oh, you wicked, beastly beast, cried Trunky. Oh, you foul and filthy fiend. I hope you get squashed and squished and squiggled and boiled up into crocodile stew. The enormous crocodile laughed out loud and disappeared into the thick jungle. A bit further on, he met Mugglewump, the monkey. Mugglewump was sitting in a tree, eating nuts. Hello, Crocky, said Mugglewump. What are you up to now? I have secret plans and clever tricks, said the crocodile. Would you like some nuts? Asked Mugglewump. I have better things to eat than nuts, sniffed the crocodile. I didn't think there was anything better than nuts, said Mugglewump. There's Mugglewump. He's just hanging out in a tree eating nuts. Aha, said the enormous crocodile. The sort of thing that I'm going to eat have fingers, toenails, arms, legs, and feet. Mugglewump went pale and began to shake all over. You aren't really going to gobble up a little child, are you? He said. Of course I am, said the crocodile. Clothes and all, they taste better with the clothes on. Oh, you horrid hoggish croc, cried Mugglewump. You slimy creature, I hope your buttons and buckles all stick in your throat and choke you to death. That's not a very nice thing to say either. The crocodile grinned up at Mugglewump and said, I eat monkeys too. And quick as a flash, with one bite in his huge jaws, he bit through the tree that Mugglewump was sitting in, and down it came. But just in time, Mugglewump jumped into the next tree and swung away through the branches. A bit further on, the enormous crocodile met Roly-Poly Bird. The Roly-Poly Bird was building a nest in the orange tree. Hello there, enormous crocodile, sang the Roly-Poly Bird. We don't often get to see you up here in the jungle. I'm trying my best to sing. Ah, said the crocodile, I have secret plans and clever tricks. I hope it's not something nasty, sang the Roly-Poly Bird. Nasty, cried the crocodile. Of course it's not nasty. It's delicious. It's luscious, it's super, it's muscious, it's duper. It's better than rotten old fish. You mash it and munch it, you chew it and crunch it. It's lovely to hear it go squish. It must be berries, sang the Roly-Poly Bird. Berries are my favorite food in the world. Is it raspberries perhaps? Or could it be strawberries? The enormous crocodile laughed so much his teeth rattled together like pennies in a money box. Crocodiles don't eat berries, he said. We eat little boys and girls, and sometimes we eat roly-poly birds as well. Very quickly, the crocodile reached up and snapped his jaw at the roly-poly bird. He just missed the bird, but he managed to catch hold of the long, beautiful feathers in its tail. Roly-poly bird gave a shriek of terror and shot straight up in the air, leaving its feathers, his tail feathers, behind in the enormous crocodile's mouth. Oh, poor roly-poly bird. He lost all of his feathers except for one. At last, the enormous crocodile came out of the other side of the jungle and into the sunshine. He could see the town not far away. Ho ho, he said, talking aloud to himself. Ha ha! That walk through the jungle has made me hungrier than ever. One child isn't going to be nearly enough for me today. I won't be full up until I've eaten at least 3 juicy little children. He started to creep forward towards the town. The enormous crocodile crept over to a place where there was lots of coconut trees. He knew that the children of the town often came here looking for coconuts. The trees were too tall for them to climb, but there was always some coconuts on the ground that had fallen down. The enormous crocodile quickly collected all the coconuts that were lying on the ground. He also gathered together several fallen branches. Now for clever trick number 1, he whispered to himself. It won't be long before I am eating the first part of my lunch. He took all the coconut branches and held them between his teeth. He grasped the coconuts in his front paws. Then he stood straight up in the air, balancing himself on his tail. What's he doing? What's he doing? Can you guys figure out from the words what he's trying to become? Let's see what his trick is. Aha! Look at that. It's the crocodile, and what does he look like? He looks like a coconut tree. Here we go. He arranged the branches and the coconuts so cleverly that he now looked exactly like a small coconut tree standing among the big coconut trees. Soon, 2 children came along. They were brother and sister. The boy was called Toto, and his sister was called Mary. They walked around looking for fallen coconuts, but because they couldn't find any because the enormous crocodile had done what? He gathered them all up. Oh, look, cried Toto. That tree over there is much smaller than the others. It's full of coconuts. I think I could climb that one easily if you were to help me with the first bit. Toto and Mary ran towards what they thought was a small coconut tree. The enormous crocodile peered through the branches, watching them closely as they came closer and closer. He licked his lips. He began to dribble with excitement. Oh my goodness, look at his face. He is so excited, this guy. In the worst way possible. But then, look what happens. Look at the picture. Can you guys see what's happened? Haha. Suddenly, there was a tremendous whooshing sound. It was Humpy Rumpy, the hippopotamus. He came crashing and snorting out of the jungle. His head was down low, and he was galloping at terrific speed. Look out, Toto, shouted Humpy Rumpy. Look out, Mary. That's not a coconut tree. It's the enormous crocodile, and he wants to eat you all up. Humpy Rumpy charged straight at the enormous crocodile. Boom! Oh, my goodness. Look at him. He's like, wah! He caught him with his giant head and sent him tumbling and skidding over the ground. Owie! Cried the crocodile. Help! Stop! Where am I? Toto and Mary ran back to town as fast as they could. But crocodiles are tough. and it's difficult for even a hippopotamus to hurt them. The enormous crocodile picked himself up and crept towards the place where the children's playground was. Now for clever tricks. Trick number 2, he said to himself. This one is certain to work. There were no children in the playground at the moment. They were all in school. The enormous crocodile found a large piece of wood and placed it in the middle of the playground. Then he lay across the piece of wood and tucked in his feet so that he looked almost exactly like a seesaw. When school was over, the children all came running onto the playground. "Oh, look," they cried. "We've got a new seesaw." They all crowded around, shouting with excitement. "Bags, I have to go first. I'll get on the other end. I want to go first. So do I. So do I." Then a girl who was older than the others said, "It's a rather funny, knobbly sort of seesaw, isn't it? Do you think it'll be safe to sit on?" "Oh, of course it will," said the others. "It looks strong as anything." The enormous crocodile opened one eye just a tiny bit and watched the children who were crowding around him. Soon, he thought, one of them is going to sit on my head. Then I will jerk, or give a jerk, and snap, and after it will be yum, yum, yum. At that moment, there was a flash of brown, and something jumped into the playground and hopped up onto one of the swings. It was Mugglewump, the monkey. "Run!" Mugglewump shouted to the children. "All of you, run, run, run! That's not a seesaw, it's the enormous crocodile, and he wants to eat you all up!" The children screamed and ran for their lives. Mugglewump disappeared back into the jungle, and the enormous crocodile was left all alone in the playground. He cursed the monkey and waddled back to the bushes to hide. "I'm getting hungrier and hungrier," he said. "I shall have to eat at least 4 children now, before I'm full up." The enormous crocodile crept around the edge of town, taking great care not to be seen. Hopefully he's been running out of options. Let's see what's going to happen here. He came to a place where they were getting ready to have a fair. There were slides and swings and dodgem cars and people selling popcorn and candy floss. There was also a big roundabout. A roundabout, just so you know, guys, is another word for like a merry-go-round. The roundabout had marvelous wooden creatures for the children to ride on. There were white horses and lions and tigers and mermaids and fishes with fishes' tails and fearsome dragons and red tongues sticking out of their mouths. "Now for clever trick number 3, said the enormous crocodile, licking his lips. This guy just won't quit. When no one was looking, he crept up onto the roundabout and put himself between a wooden lion and a fearsome dragon. He sat up a bit on his back legs and then kept very still. He looked exactly like a wooden crocodile on the roundabout. Soon all sorts of children came flocking to the fair. Several of them ran towards the roundabout. They were very excited. Okay, so you can see him. He's looking. And here's the fair. What do you guys think? Do you think another animal is going to come and save the day? I think maybe he will. Because whenever there's a bully, there's always someone who comes in to save the day, right? Whenever there's something going wrong in a really good story, in the best stories, someone comes in and saves the day. "I'm going to ride on the dragon," cried one. "I'm going to ride on the lovely white horse," cried another. "I'm going on a lion," cried the third. And one little girl, whose name was Jill, said, "I'm going to ride on that funny old wooden crocodile." The enormous crocodile kept very still, but he could see the little girl coming towards him. "Yummy, yum, yum," he thought. "I'll gulp her up easily in one gallop." Suddenly, there was a swish and a swoosh, and something came swishing and swooshing out of the sky. It was the roly-poly bird. He flew round and round and around the roundabout and said, "Look out, Jill, look out, look out, look out. Don't ride on that crocodile." Jill stopped and looked up. "That's not a wooden crocodile," sang the roly-poly bird. "It's a real one. It's the enormous crocodile from the river, and it wants to eat you up." I think roly-poly probably sounded or sung better than me, but that's my impression. We'll see how it goes. So here he is. He's looking all happy. Roly-poly bird comes in, saves the day. Here he is right here. Good job, Roly-poly bird. Crocodile is like, oh, no, not again. Jill turned and ran. So did all the other children. Even the man who was working the roundabout jumped off it and ran away as fast as he could. The enormous crocodile cursed the roly-poly bird and waddled back into the bushes to hide. I'm so hungry now, he said to himself. I could eat at least 6 children before I am full up. My goodness, this guy. He's not learning his lesson. I don't know what's going on. Just go eat some fish. Just outside the town, there was a pretty little field with trees and bushes all around it. This was called the picnic place. There were several wooden tables and long benches, and people were allowed to go there and have a picnic at any time. The enormous crocodile crept over to the picnic place. There was no one in sight. Now for clever trick number 4, he whispered to himself. He picked up a lovely bunch of flowers and arranged it on one of the tables. From the same table, he took away one of the benches and hid it in the bushes. You guys know what he's doing yet? He's got flowers, and he's taking away one of the benches. Let's see what clever trick number 4 is. Then he put himself in the place where the bench had been. By tucking his head under his chest and twisting his tail out of sight, he made himself look very much like a long wooden bench with 4 legs. Soon 2 boys and 2 girls came along carrying baskets of food. They were all from one family, and their mother had said they could go out and have a picnic together. Which table shall we sit at? Said one. Let's take the lovely table with the lovely flowers on it, said another. So the table is pretty, and so that's the one they're going to take. Do you guys see it? I see it. Here's the flowers, and look! That's not a bench. Let's see what happens. The enormous crocodile kept as quiet as a mouse. I shall eat them all, he said to himself. They will come and sit down on my back, and I will swizzle my head around quickly. And after that, it'll be squish, crunch, gollop. Oh my goodness. But suddenly, a big, deep voice from the jungle shouted, Stand back, children! Stand back, stand back! Boom, boom. Actually, that sounded more like a horse, but anyways, you get the idea. It's an elephant. Here he is. The children stopped and stared from the place where the voice was coming from. Then, with a crashing of branches, Trunky the elephant came rushing out of the jungle. That's not a bench you are going to sit on, he bellowed. It's the enormous crocodile, and he wants to eat you all up. Trunky trotted over to the spot where the enormous crocodile was standing. And quick as a flash, he wrapped his trunk around the crocodile's tail and hoisted him up in the air. Hey, let me go, yelled the crocodile, who was dangling upside down. Let me go, let me go, let me go. No, Trunky said, I will not let you go. We've had quite enough of your clever tricks. Trunky began to swing the crocodile around, round and round in the air. At first, he swung him slowly. And then he swung him faster and faster and faster and faster still. Oh my goodness. Soon, the enormous crocodile was just a blurry circle going round and round Trunky's head. Suddenly, Trunky let go of the crocodile's tail, and the crocodile went shooting high up into the sky like a huge green rocket. Whoopsh! Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Look what's happened. Up and up he went, higher and higher and higher and faster and faster. He was going so fast and so high that soon the earth was just a tiny dot miles below. He whizzed on and on and on. He whizzed far into space. He whizzed past the moon. He whizzed past the stars and the planets until at last, oh my goodness, boo, boo, boo. It's like he's whizzing past there until at last, what's going to happen? With the most tremendous bang, the enormous crocodile crashed headfirst into the hot, hot sun, and he was sizzled up like a sausage. Oh my goodness. I didn't expect that. And that was the end of the crocodile. And that's the end of the story. Whoa, that was a strange story. Wow. The enormous crocodile. I guess if you're a dangerous animal, you're going to kind of come to a kind of a dangerous end. Good thing there was other people or other animals to take care of those kids, or they would have come to a pretty dangerous end as well. Well, I hope you liked that story, and we'll see you next time.